So let's reflect back for a minute on the relationship of these three basic principles. The one principle is the recognition that when we feel our best, when we're at peace, and I'll define it as feeling connected to ourselves, to our purpose, to our gift, feeling connected to the people around us that we care about, that care about us, and feeling connected to the nature around us. You know, we will be at our best when that's true. And this we know from not only our own 30-year experience through hundreds of nature connection mentors reporting back to the center, but also from scientific research that, you know, basically underscores that nature connection makes you feel good. You know, there's just a lot of different ways it's being said in the research, but if you visit the Children in Nature Network website and you look at the research that's there, you'll find a lot of really great stuff that just underscores everything I'm talking about. So if we look at that principle of peace, and we realize that in a certain sense, the goal of our work is to get every human being on planet Earth to that peace as quickly as possible. You know, if we could figure out a way to have, you know, all this, you know, 7 billion of us all at the same time come to that aspect of peace through, you know, good processes, we would have a really different world now. You know, and we could look forward to a different kind of a future. You know, we would see a change in a lot of things that maybe worry you a little bit. If people feel unrest, you know, things don't go well, quality of life diminishes, you know, comfort level in various, you know, social settings diminishes. And if everyone is feeling at peace, then they're free to greet you and be friendly in the morning. You know, they're feeling at ease to be good neighbors. You know, so just think about it in that way. And microcosmically, we see this happening. You know, where, for instance, Wilderness Awareness School in 1995 was a brand new project in Western Washington in Duval, there was little to no community built around it. I mean, literally, you know, a handful of us came over and landed there with an RV. I felt like, you know, we were early explorers in a ship, you know, kind of dropping anchor someplace, and the RV kind of broke down, the wheels fell off. It was like, okay, we're here, pull out the filing cabinet. And then we began the work of training adults to work with children, because we had summer camps coming right up. And that was one of our first endeavors. But in that first year, it was really challenging, because though we taught people about art of mentoring and explained all the theory and practices, when they went back out into the field with the kids, they actually didn't. It was as if they never took the art of mentoring. I mean, I was asking them that evening in the debrief. I said, well, you remember when I said this in art of mentoring? Oh, yeah. Well, let's look at what happened today. You know, do you remember this moment? Yeah. And you remember? And people are like, they made that face like, oh my God. You know, and I was like, it's okay. You know, obviously I didn't give it to you right because you didn't pick up what I was putting down here, you know. So that was some of the first hints that this wasn't a journey of ideas. It was a journey of practice. It was a journey of what was in the body, not what was in the mind, you know. So, you know, the original challenge to build that community was enormous, you know, and we had to literally start from scratch. But, you know, the fun part was I had help, you know. Ingwe, the late grandfather of the Wilderness Awareness School and this nature connection movement worldwide, he flew out from New Jersey, and he helped. You know, he helped talk to people about the need to have the spirit of the village back, you know, to really reach out. He always used to say, you know, the trouble with the world today is that, you know, people don't remember how to reach out and to touch and to love, you know, and that there's a big fear that everybody has. You know, the word love is too scary for people, you know, and it means something else in people's minds today than what it means in the innocent sense of connection that comes from authentic connection. It rises and takes over your heart as a really natural feeling, you know. And Jake and Judy Swamp came out a few times and helped talk about the importance of peacemaking in community. And we had more and more people showing up and sticking around as alumni. And as the surface area began to build, we began to see these little pockets of people who were beginning to walk with good conduct in this way that I'm talking about. And so it was easier and easier to get the results we were looking for in the children as those communities of adults and older kids began to form up in some basic peacemaking communication processes. And you know, I remember when John Gallagher stood in this one neighborhood and looked at all these houses from this hill, and he said, you know, right now there's no families here who support our work because we just got here. He says, but I predict in the future sometime we'll stand right here, you and I, and there'll be all these families in this neighborhood that we can point to that support the work and weave this new fabric of community around our work. And, you know, it wasn't too long ago that John and I stood on that hill and looked out at that neighborhood and sort of recalled about 75 households that were now in cooperation around this. And so when people go and visit those communities, they're like, I have to move here. I'm moving here. This is an amazing community. Oh, my God, my kids are so happy here. Why can't we all live like this? Well, I'm moving here now. You know, where's the houses? Show me the brochures. Where are the houses for sale in the neighborhood? And people get charged up. And, of course, that community keeps growing as a result of that. So I'm not working for the Chamber of Commerce for Western Washington. I'm working for the vision of why not just do that in every neighborhood? You know, there's technology. We know we're smart. We're human beings. We know how to work together. If we can get over some differences and work through some things, then we can just put that pattern back on the ground. You know, so from the big picture standpoint, you know, where are you right now? You know, how do you feel about your neighborhood? How do you feel about conduct versus content? You know, just dwell on those things a little bit and think, you know, what can I learn? How can I increase the power of the community around me? How can I contribute to that process? Because ultimately, a community is not made of a person with an idea. A community is made of individuals owning their own gifts and bringing those gifts forward in the interdependent way that nature models to us. You know, and as we look at how nature models interdependence and we learn to be more our own inner nature by connecting to nature, we become, you know, ecological beings within an ecological framework. But when you first wake up to that framework in yourself and you look around and you don't have that kind of community support, you begin to wonder if there's a trick being played on you on a soul level because you feel like that's what you want, but your community's not meeting you there. Here's the challenge I have for you. You know, what if it's up to you to help make that community happen as opposed to looking for it and wondering why it's not there and being mad about that? Because if you wake up realizing it's not there and you can imagine what you'd really like to see, that means you have the ability to help make it happen. You know, you are actually emerging into that scary L word, leadership. You know, you're actually arising with a possibility that can improve your community. So let's just look at how these things weave together. You know, the peacemaking model, the emergence of a community from scratch, because a lot of the work we're doing might have to be brand new in certain neighborhoods, but also the knowledge and the hope that all over the world there's communities springing up that are, you know, following this pattern for a variety of causes, not just nature connection, but that's really happening, and that you're part of an international network of emergence of the best that humans can offer.